I had a daughter who went to Merry Hill School, and the teacher encouraged the boys to play netball as well as football, and the girls the same. And there was a Metropolitan Police competition, which was run every year when the girls first started, and they won their first round. And because they won their first round, they went to the next tournament, and when they got to the next one, somebody from Southwark came along and said, would you like to come and join our league? And the girl that did it with me said, shall we do it? And I said, okay, we'll do it. We did it between us. And so we then took them off every week to play in Southwark. I realised that it was a long way to keep going to Southwark every week. And by this time we'd hired a sports hall, and I was collecting money, and we now had a club because I had to pay for the hall. And I got in touch, the guy at the hall said to me, if you belong to the youth service, you can get this for free. And I said, who's the youth service? And he said, I don't know, but you phone up the Civic and they'll tell you, which I did. And I got in touch with a lady who was called Maureen Anderson, and she said, I said, well, you know, could you help me? Really, what I want to do is start a league, because then we don't have to keep travelling. So we started a league, and we ran it from Ballsmore, and we had teams coming up every month, and they came from as far as Maidstone. We had 48 teams, but they could only come once a month because we couldn't manage anymore. And it was, at that time, the largest league in southeastern England. There wasn't anything bigger for girls. You know, so it was under 10s, under 12s. Of course, as they got older, we had under 14s and under 16s. So we did that for quite a time.
Football was a bit incidental for me. We had some great highlights, winning Middlesex Cups and getting promoted through the regional leagues, and you know, some really great individual days. But the days that I look back on and really relish are things like, we have a presentation evening every year. When I first started, we had enough trophies for every player, with some spare who we didn't know who to give to. We was in a sports hall with all of the girls lined up on a bench seat. That's how many girls we had. And we got to the stage where we couldn't fit them into Tottenham Football Club for a presentation. You know, 11-a-side teams, multiple teams, and you just couldn't get a venue that was big enough. And when you used to go to those events and you'd been at the beginning, you were like, wow, this is incredible. The same with, we run a 5-a-side competition that is still running today. When we started that competition, is anybody going to come? And then you turn up that morning and the place has got thousands of people coming, and you're playing, you know, you've got 200 teams and referees. You just look across the field and just see these people that have all come together because of something that's been organised by a team of maybe only 6 or 7 volunteers, and it's that sort of thing that I look back on and think, yeah, we really did something.
I've had lots of roles. Obviously joined, I was a player. I was 14 at that time. You could play senior football at 14, so I went straight into the ladies team and played there. I've coached under 11s teams, I've managed under 11s teams, I've managed the reserves, I've managed the thirds, and I was chair. Being a player was first and foremost, that's what I did the whole time that I was there. But then as you got more involved, my role was I wanted to help the club more, I wanted to see it develop. You know, it was such an important part of me then, that it was nice to coach the kids, to help out in that, and then to take over chair was, yeah, definitely, it was an honour at the time, definitely.
Originally, the barriers were that the boys didn't want me to play because it was new to them. I think what happened was, if they saw that you could play, then you were generally more accepted. So given time and given match time, that became less of an issue. And when we played other schools, actually it turned full circle because they were more supportive when boys from other schools would say, oh, you've got a girl on your team, for example. They would actually then go to full circle and be quite defensive of me. And really, apart from that kind of negativity at the start, once you're involved in girls and women's football, you're around like-minded people. So people that come to watch are generally connected to the players. So there is no negativity there. The only other negativity you generally get is if you mention at work that you play, there's a bit of a historical view that, oh really, you play? Do you play a whole game? Is it organised? do you wear kit? Is it proper? You know, these sorts of questions. And actually it's quite funny because when you start talking about football, people are quite shocked because you know what you're talking about. You know players that are in teams, even talking about the Premier League, and you join in conversations. And again, it's kind of, you've won them over.